A lot of times what happens, we're so quick to avoid pain. We're so quick to avoid a confronting situation. But the soul is actually getting what it needs. The experience that is going to create something larger, greater, more openness to the energy of the love that is coming through. The soul is like paying close attention. How does that feel? Where is it taking me?
We're all reactive. Things happen. We all get angry and we're supposed to have those emotions. That's the contrast. But we have them, but that the gap between the reaction and the loving action taking closes. And so it happens, and then eventually it doesn't even come out.
To be in a state of a loving awareness is really the space where you open the channel to just download anything that is very pertinent to your soul for your being here to also embody, to learn about, to experience.
Stop and just listen. Maybe you're being called to just do nothing and sit still. But the more that you sit still with yourself, rather than run to the past or try to escape and run to the future, you'll build that trust. And then it's there. Once it's there, it doesn't go anywhere. And even if it leaves, it's right there. All you have to do is be still again. Like, it's the easiest thing in the world. There's nothing to do. All you have to do is be still.
Most of us don't even take a moment to listen. We're not present with ourselves, with other people. We're like rushing, and it's too fast. Life is happening. You don't even register things. And so then there's no way to really actually capture something and remember it. We have 2 ears and we have 1 mouth. Use them proportionately.
Everything that comes from us is going to be sourced from the love that we remember that we are.
Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the Awake and Aware podcast. My name is Mark, and I am happy to have you join us for today's session. Again, back with Tammy, going over the concepts as well as the importance of being present in the moment with yourself, with people that you care about, and in situations that you find yourself to be in. And I also want to touch on remembering and our ability to create habits that support our ability to remember what it is that we came here to do, what it is that we just learned yesterday, last week, last month, last year, 10 years ago. Can I be present with what it is that I've learned? Remember the lessons from whatever it is that I've learned. How do we do that? What do we do? What do we not do? So let's jump in and let's go over some of those concepts. Okay, beautiful souls, welcome back to Awake and Aware podcast. It's great to see you all again. And as usually, Tammy is joining me today for our chats. And I wanted to talk today about the importance of being in this space of remembering who you are, who you came here to be, and how you connect to this world. What do you do? What do you not do? And as exciting as it may sound to be able to remember what your soul came here to do, it's also putting all that into practice, which is why we are here, really. And being able to embody through creating habits in our lives that actually serve the purpose that the soul came here to live. So how do we connect to that inner knowing, to that remembering about where we come from, what we're here to do? So let's open a debate and let's see what comes out of here.
So as you're saying that, the first thing that comes to my mind is the knowing, and how do we know? So how do we know what is the state of remembering? How do we know we're in that state of being in awareness and allowance? And we know by how things feel. So when you feel good, that's when purpose is happening. Like, it feels good, it feels soft, it feels comfortable, it feels safe. And I know that I am in true remembering of what is real, what is true, when it's love-based. So even if I'm in a difficult situation and there might be conflict, It's like I can access that feeling, that love feeling, and that paves the way for whatever might happen in the remembering. I can accept everything that I remember, and then everything that I remember turns to more of that love that I surrounded it in.
Yeah, I love what you're pointing to because it's so subtle also for a lot of
Yeah.
people. I know that this was also for me and sometimes still eludes. But the place where we can remember, like you're saying, is that when we are in this loving state of being, when we are feeling the comfort from within, when we are feeling, and it doesn't mean that the things are not happening outside of us. Somebody
Mhm.
may be arguing over there. Somebody,
Mhm.
there may be a loud helicopter flying over there. There may be something is disturbing your peace and quiet. So be it.
Mhm.
But to
Yeah.
be in a state of a loving awareness is
Mhm.
really the space where you open the channel to just download anything that is very pertinent to your soul for your being here to also embody, to learn about, to experience. Okay, because
Mhm.
what soul is interested in is experiences. And
Yes.
it doesn't care whether you're going to have a bad experience or a good experience. Soul is like, it wants experience and it
Right.
draws from any experiences. And as we were talking earlier, especially when we are suffering and struggling, the soul is like paying close attention. How does that feel? Where is it taking me?
Mhm.
Because a lot of times what happens, we're so quick to avoid pain. We're so quick to avoid a confronting situation. But a lot of time what's happening is that the soul is actually getting what it needs. The experience that is going to create something larger, greater, more openness to the energy of the love that is coming through. So when we are in a space, I feel of the loving acceptance, there's this, it's like the portal to remembering what we have learned so far, who we are, what we came here to do in our next iteration, etc. How does that feel to you on that note?
Yeah, it feels all very resonant. Like I feel like I'm gonna say all the same things that you
That's
say.
okay.
So I want, because, but that's the beauty of it.
Yes.
So, so that right there, you just spoke. We are aligned in our beliefs, the way that we live our lives. So we share a lot of the same. So that when you and I, us two humans, come together and say words and form thoughts in our mind, everything that comes from us is going to be sourced from the love that we remember that we are. So that's in when we're talking about exciting, great things and wonderful things that are happening, but it's still there when you're in a struggle or a trial or a crisis, and it's easy to forget. And I always say the practices of staying in that remembering, when you stay closer to it and it becomes, it's the default. So you don't have to go as far to go find it when the trials come. So yes, you're something happens. Sure, we're all reactive. Things happen. We all get angry, and we're supposed to have those emotions. That's the contrast. But we have them, but that the gap between the reaction and the loving action taking closes.
Mhm.
And so it happens, and then eventually it doesn't even come out. So you
Mhm.
feel it, but it doesn't even come to a point of coming out of you.
Mhm.
Is That's what starts to happen if you stay on this and you make a choice that this is what you want to do and you want to be in this state. And so when we choose to be that state of love, everything that we remember has the space to turn into whatever it's going to turn into next. What I mean is, we can remember a happy, joyous, love filled occasion or an event that happened in our life. We can look back and we can feel it. We can like be right back there. It can be 10 years ago and we can
Mhm.
be right back there.
Mhm.
What we do with it next is what's gonna make the difference in the pattern that gets created from that. Every thought we have, a pattern creates.
Mhm.
Everything is, it just keeps creating patterns. And so we could turn that into like, oh yeah, that was great. 10 years ago, this happened. It was great. It was bliss. But yeah, I don't know what happened, but now life just sucks. And, everything kind of went wrong now. And I don't know where it went, but I just lost it. And right. And we can do that. Then we open the door to more of that. Right. So that's can be enough to say, well, I don't want to remember. I don't want to remember. I'm just going to close off, block off. But it's not the memory that made us feel bad about it. And it's not life that happened since that 10-year ago event that we remembered. That none of that matters. The only reason it went, sideways is because we took it somewhere. So it's that conscious awareness of remembering and staying in that state of love. It'll just keep building on it. And you could live for 10 years on one memory if you keep thinking it.
Mhm.
Whatever we think about, we become, and whatever we think about expands. So one memory could last you a lifetime if you wanted it to. I mean, we hear about this, people that are in prisons or ill or things, and they just sit and they just remember and think about the bliss or the joyful thought. And they say, that's what got me through the hard time.
Yeah, absolutely. That remembering. And again, one other thing that I want to point to through this remembering is that oftentimes because of that, we tend to forget because we're human, right?
Yeah.
So for me, for instance, when I have a revelation during the day, something happened in life, something just clicked, a light bulb went off,
Yeah.
something big, profound changed in me, and I felt the
Mm-hmm.
shift. And then
Mm-hmm.
next day I wake up and I can barely recall exactly what happened. And
Mm-hmm.
so in this case, I feel it's super important to have practices that will allow us to re-remember what happened a day before, 2 days, week before, in this realm, in this reality. That's one thing. Remembering where your soul is going to, how does it live the experiences or through experiences? And I know basically like who you are, who is the core of you, that love, that
Mm-hmm.
acceptance within us, that caring within us, that appreciation and all that stuff,
Yeah.
compassion for humans. That soulful living is going to allow more of the experience to
Mm-hmm.
be remembered. Because when we are
Mm-hmm.
not in this space, we are in
Yeah.
space of fretting somehow, of worrying about something, of not really being connected with something. It just goes like in through one ear and out through the other. And so then we don't remember stuff. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And how often is it that people forget people's names? You're introduced to someone and 5 seconds later, like, what was their name?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the reason that we don't remember that is because we
Yeah.
weren't actually listening, like it wasn't connecting.
Mm-hmm.
When you are in a state of love, when you are in a state of acceptance, not just like everyone else around you, but yourself especially, like, I
Yeah.
know I am part of a God consciousness, divine,
Mm-hmm.
whatever you want to call it. I
Yeah.
know I'm part
Yeah.
of that. And when I'm in that knowing, in that moment, I'm everything and everyone. And it is easier for me to remember things. When I am separated in a state of mind, that I am this being, that I am in this human form, in this meat suit, like
Mm-hmm.
Peter Korn likes
Mm-hmm.
to say,
Mm-hmm.
is that's when I don't remember stuff. And this
Yeah.
is one of the things that also Peter talks about often is that we have two ears and we have one mouth. Use them proportionately. And it's super important. It's like most of us don't even take a moment to listen. We're not present with ourselves, with other people. We're like rushing, rushing, rushing. And this too fast life is happening. You don't even register things. And so then there's no way to really actually capture something and remember it.
Yeah.
So, in order to actually be in that space of being, again, open
Mm-hmm.
your heart,
Mm-hmm.
pause, slow down, listen, be there. The best
Mm-hmm.
conversations you guys, I guarantee any one of you out there will
Mm-hmm.
have had when you're truly present with the person, when you hearing what they're saying and they're
Mm-hmm.
hearing what you're saying, and you're bouncing the ideas back and forth, and like it's like a play of tennis or ping pong or whatever you want to call it, and
Mm-hmm.
it's fun. You're just going back and forth because the downloads are coming in one way, coming back from the other side, coming back again, and is rising. So
Mm,
the energy amplifies as we connect.
yeah.
That's what's so much fun in that sense.
Yeah. And really cool thing about it is that you don't need anything. It's self-sourced.
Yes.
And it's self-sourced, but it's powerful enough to reach. It doesn't mean you should, not go out and achieve things. Like the stuff is wonderful. Big houses and many cars and all of that.
Hmm.
Nothing there's nothing that says, well, you're not as present or spiritual because you have more stuff. Like no, it doesn't matter. But when you are in that loving presence, the stuff is just extra on top. It's not what is making, that's not providing you the bliss, the joy. Your bliss and joy, and then you enjoy that stuff. That's part of it. And
Hmm.
so I don't think it can be said enough that you are it. Like that's the stop, sit still, and remember. Because when we're doing 90, we can't see what's going by. We're missing the view of everything. And so it's like that the rush to get somewhere to the place that's like holding our peace, joy, and love hostage, that there is no place holding it hostage. There is no container holding your blissful, abundant life until you check off the boxes and the standards and do all the things. That doesn't exist. It's right here. Talk to people all the time that have nothing and they're walking around in bliss. They don't know. They don't know where the money's coming from for the next thing or whatever it is, money, people, anything. There's people living all by themselves that are blissfully happy.
Hmm.
And then there's people living with, 15 family members that they see every day and, parties every weekend that state that they're lonely and they
Hmm.
feel alone.
Hmm.
And so it's just when you stop and it's just try it. And I encourage everyone to start small, like with everything. Don't try to go and say, okay, I like what they're saying here. Yeah, I want that. I want to have that feeling. Okay, I'm gonna go rent a cabin in the woods and go sit there alone for 5 days with myself, just out of the blue and expect to get it. Like, just
Hmm.
start small in your daily life. It's right here. It's the stoplight. It's 5 minutes. It's take a minute, and if you work in a big office or something, go to the restroom and just stand there for a minute and just do nothing and just be with yourself. It's accessible always. The
Hmm.
level at which you have it and exist in it, that's all up to us as individuals and our own choices, but it's not far away. It's right here. It's
It's
right
not
here.
out there, right?
No,
Exactly.
no,
Yeah, I love
no.
that you point that out, Tammy. It's a great reminder that again, very subtle because it is
Yeah.
so we are so quick to go look for the best next best job, the next best girlfriend, boyfriend, the
Yeah.
whatever, whatever
Mhm.
the dangling
Yeah.
carrot there. And it really is just within. A lot of people that come to my studio for practice, sometimes they don't even know what they're looking for and they find it in this
Mm.
practice. Why? Because the practice of Tai Chi is that you have to slow down. You really have to slow down. So, and I oftentimes say also in a practice of Gong Fu, which is again martial art, that in order to go fast, in order to be fast, because some guys really just want to be like, I want to be really fast in everything. It's like, yeah,
Mm.
I get that. I was there too. And the way
Mm.
for me to actually get faster, was to slow
Yeah.
down.
Mm.
As soon as I learned how to slow down, meaning practicing the Tai Chi principles and the practice,
Yeah.
my martial arts skill improved. Like
Uh,
not even just like a little bit, like
mhm.
50 times,
Mhm.
tremendously improved. And
Yeah.
people who study martial arts and then have studied Tai Chi, I'm sure they will attest to that.
Mhm.
It's like when you start really slowing down into your day, starting slowing
Mm.
down, being present with where you are, who you are, what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
paying attention to chewing your food, like,
Yeah.
we all forget to do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
paying
Mm-hmm.
attention to just be present with brushing your teeth. I don't know, just feel those teeth.
Yes.
Just be
Yeah.
there, for that moment. Because that
Mm-hmm.
moment's gonna pass, you're gonna have a next moment. You experience that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The issues we end up running into, I feel, is like when we go into the future in the mind and start anticipating something, and or we
Mm-hmm.
return to the past and try to recall something that made me feel safe, and then I feel
Mm-hmm.
because I feel I need some soothing, because I feel hurt or I feel scared, and
Yeah.
so oftentimes that's an escape from a present moment, which is the only
Mm-hmm.
thing that we all have. Yeah. And so finding that really is in this, like you say, in this loving presence that is always there. The source, like you said, you're sourcing it
Yeah.
in every moment. It's there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we remember. That's why we know. That's why we excel. That's why we feel the bliss and we don't feel
Yeah.
stuck. We don't feel any of those other things.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's Eckhart Tolle talks about it a lot, but the be here
Yeah.
now.
Mm-hmm.
Like now. Look
Mm-hmm.
where your feet are. Be there. And it takes time and it takes the practice. But I would say to everybody, as soon as you feel that once, you'll never forget it. Like as soon as that's tapped into and you
Mm-hmm.
have the what we're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
because to some people this might seem like, "What? Yeah, okay." It feels pretty unbelievable if you're in a lot of turmoil and life is just, if you're in that, it feels impossible. And so approach it with wonder, approach it with just, well, maybe.
Yeah.
I always say, like with anything, is just approach it with a maybe. Like, oh, I wonder if, I wonder what,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'll try it. A
Mm-hmm.
minute, 5 minutes, and just see
Mm-hmm.
if life changes. It
Mm-hmm.
will. Time becomes more and more and more irrelevant and not real, and everything expands. The present moment expands. And if you can do this, if there's any kind of a habit or energy towards your past informing your future, that'll get filtered out and you'll be more in the present moment. And then that moment, you're not really involved. It's like you don't have to be involved in the future or the past. There's kind of no need to.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I speak for myself, the only time I'm looking to the past or the future, it's because I'm not present in my now with whatever is real right now. And so it's fear, but if
Mm-hmm.
you just sit for a minute,
Mm-hmm.
it sort of dissolves and kind
Mm-hmm.
of it works out. And
Mm-hmm.
as always, I mean, I'm going to say 100% of the time that there's always less to do
Mm-hmm.
than
Yeah.
I
And
may have thought.
yeah, thank you for pointing that out, because that ties into the next part of this is that I want to talk about is that we are so busy wanting to do something. And again, that comes from the mind trying to prove that, hey,
Mhm.
I'm worthy, so I need to do something so I can show my worth or whatever it
Yeah,
is.
right.
But if you are in the present moment, you're left with nothing else but feeling. And this is why
Mm.
people really want to escape. This is why people are on drugs. We have
Mhm.
addictions. Is that we seek for that escape because we don't want to feel. So our resistance to feeling puts us into the seat of resistance. When you're in
Mhm.
resistance state of being, everything tenses up.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons that human body needs a lot of sleep is because we walk through the day so tense that the body has to take entire third of the day to
Mhm.
regenerate.
Yeah.
And so if we're able to eliminate that tension from
Mhm.
throughout a day, our bodies would need a lot less sleep
Yeah.
because it would be able
Yeah.
to regenerate as it goes. And so this is similar to
Mhm.
and not very different from, again, back to love, where when you're in love with someone,
Mhm.
okay, just let's a simple example. When you're
Yeah.
in love with someone, you don't feel like sleeping.
Mm.
You don't
Mhm.
feel like worrying
Mhm.
about anything. You're
Yeah.
like on cloud nine, everything is cool, everything is
Mhm.
awesome. Hey,
Mhm.
that's a song, I think. Anyway, so and it's just like being in that moment, you're
Yeah.
regenerating energy like
Mhm.
perpetually.
Right.
It just like regenerates and regenerates, you don't need as
Mhm.
much sleep. You know, if you're in love, you go to sleep because you feel you need to sleep, but you wake up like 2, 3 hours or 4 hours
Mhm.
later and you're fine and you
Yeah, and
just go
it's a
again.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so of course we haven't been able
Yeah.
to sustain that state for a long period of time because fear sets back in.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
so can we teach ourselves through some practices, literally teach the body? Can we do that through practices to
Mhm.
remain in a space of loving for as long as possible? Because that love
Mhm.
allows this physical human body to
Mhm.
relax,
Mhm.
to go into this state of regeneration. So when we are in that state, we don't need pills. We don't need doctors. We don't need whatever it is, any kind of intervention because body is in optimal vital state.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's big, big, big part of this. And now, of course,
Mhm.
because we have this physical bodies, yeah, we do need to take care of them. So sleep
Mm.
is a good thing. Drinking water, plenty of water is a good thing.
Mhm. Yeah.
Eating some foods
Yeah.
that are actually helpful to the body is a good thing. And then
Yeah.
spending time focusing on deeper, slower inhales and exhales is a good thing for us. You know, all those things are important.
Mm.
And if the love as a source isn't there, we're basically tensing up. And
Mhm.
that tension creates more fear creates more fearful thoughts. And we're back down on a downward spiral. The energy runs out and we are
Mhm.
exhausted, we're tired, we're stuck, we don't know what to do. We get
Mhm.
back into that energy, which
Yeah.
is okay, is no, is not bad or good. It is just what it is.
Yeah.
And is that somewhere where you want to be? Probably not, because you can't necessarily create that way.
Mm. Yeah. So true. So if we're thinking about another person, a relationship, and we want to feel safe, connected, loved by the other person, with the other person. We want to feel that feeling when we're there. We say, "Yeah, I love hanging out with that person. I just love being with them because I feel
Alive.
seen, I feel heard, I feel safe." All those the feelings of being seen, heard, and love. If we can take that and say, "Okay, I want to feel that with myself all the time. I want to feel that." It's learning to trust ourselves just like we would trust another person. And so there's something we don't trust in there. Like if we're not giving into it and saying, "Yeah, okay, I can give in to the letting go and the surrender and be still, be quiet, move slower." You can ask your body. I just talk to your body. Like, what are you rushing towards? What are you
Mhm,
running away from? What are you trying to avoid?
mhm,
When you stop and notice, this comes into the awareness. Okay, yeah, my body feels tense right now. I had that feeling of bliss. I felt it, and then oh my gosh, it's gone. And maybe nothing even happened. Maybe you're by yourself, you're in your home, and if we don't run from that and try to either look at the past like, "Oh, yeah, I probably feel like this because, oh, yeah, I remember now. Yeah, something happened last week. That was so upsetting." And then we go back to it and like, "Yeah, that was really upsetting." And back into all the details of the past event that was opposite of loving awareness and stillness and joy. If we don't do that, we stop and just listen. Maybe you're being called to just do nothing and sit still, but the more that you sit still with yourself, rather than run to the past or try to escape and run to the future, you'll build that trust. And then it's there. It's once it's there, it doesn't go anywhere. And even if it leaves, it's right there. All you have to do is be still again. Like it's the easiest thing in the world. There's nothing to do. All you have to do is be still. And yeah, it is. It's scary when you think that the only way to go is to go to the past or run away from it. It's going to take some time. But the breath, breathe slower. I mean, that's usually the first. I mean, I think it's the first pointer, right? Like obviously we feel the body and we tense and oh my God, my shoulders, and we realize it. And then, okay, drop the shoulders. Okay. All right. I realized that my shoulders were in my ears. Okay. That's okay. Nothing really happened, but okay. I realized that from feeling and being aware of my own body. And then the breath, like, oh, I feel like, you feel like tightness or something. And maybe you've been holding your breath and you don't even know it. You don't even realize you're holding your breath, but you're constricting yourself. And sometimes that's all it takes. Sometimes that minute or 2 minutes that you take to drop your shoulders, slow your breath, sometimes it puts you right back in your peace and joy. It was just a notification to just tend to yourself a little bit. And so it's actually it's not a big difficult, 15-step kind of thing, and then when you're there, then you can go deal with anything. Like if there is something you need to tend to and there's details and it's okay, then you can go tend to it. But it's just putting yourself in that state, and it's just a choice like anything.
I love that you point this out, Tammy. I really love that. The simplicity behind the
Yeah.
practice that we oftentimes
Hmm.
make sound like it's such a hard thing to do to
Yeah.
practice this. It isn't. It really isn't.
No.
People
Yeah.
say, oh gosh, I have to go meditate. No, no, no. You get to meditate. You get to pause and slow down and be with yourself. Listen to your
Hmm.
breath. Be there with your soul.
Yes. Yeah.
Listen. What's
Yeah.
happening around you within you? Just feel your joints, feel your body, feel the
Yeah.
breath, like you said,
Hmm.
feel
Yeah.
into the space. What thoughts are coming through? It's like so
Hmm.
fun to watch. It's like when you're watching a movie, and this is
Hmm.
like 100 times better, maybe more.
Yeah. Hmm.
If you really have, if your
Yeah.
mind is quite imaginative, again,
Mm-hmm.
all of our minds are, it's just like how much crap do you have there?
Hmm.
As a little child that doesn't have a problem to imagine something, it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
sure, yeah, I'm a policeman. Let me play policeman,
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
and they just go right with it. They don't
Yeah.
question it.
Right.
But being in that space, it's like, can I let myself just sit there, just pay attention to, like you said, just breath,
Hmm.
just feel it.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I love how in sync we are with these conversations, and
Hmm.
just in
Hmm.
general is that I
Yeah.
start thinking is like we should probably point into some specific practice, and then you start
Uh,
talking about that. It's like, oh,
yeah, exactly. And that's what it is. It's like um that's why it's so important who we're around. Yes, we can't choose every situation. We can't always, sometimes we have to work in places and be around people who are not like-minded and who we can't sit and have these conversations with, of course.
yeah,
But
part of the story.
you can still be this on the inside. You don't have to dash in and out. Like, oh yeah, I just love that. And then, oh yeah, I gotta go to this place where I just can't and I don't like it there. And the energy and your whole body goes like, okay, now I gotta go. You were like this talking, right? And then it's like, oh yeah, now I gotta go do this thing I don't like. And then if you pay attention to yourself, what is the story that you're telling yourself about whatever the next step is? Like to your point, yeah, oh, I gotta go meditate. Oh, I gotta, are you telling yourself a story that, yeah, that sounds really nice what they're talking about, and yeah, they seem like they really do it, and yeah, okay, that sounds great. But yeah, but I got da da da, and then the but I got, but the da, 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 and then the
Yep.
list. And then you're talking about the list of the buts. So then now you're just miserable anyway, because now you're talking about the list of things that are opposite of what you want. So now you just talked yourself down into the hole of that, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, what is the story you're telling yourself about where you want to be? Yeah, I really want that, but yeah, that sounds good, but there's no but. And be it on the inside, because you don't have to say anything. No words need to be spoken to show up and be the essence of love.
Mhm.
Because when you're in this state, you can feel people feel you.
Mhm.
You can always tell where you are by what's happening around you. If there's something subconscious that I'm not even aware of that's sort of brewing within me, I can tell by the environment I'm in. I can walk into the gym, I can go into the like anywhere, and I can tell because of the people are, just the receptivity. And it doesn't even mean I'm talking to anybody. It
Mm-hmm.
it it's a feeling,
Mm-hmm.
and that's available to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell when I'm over giving. I can tell when I need to give more. It's a feeling that you like. I just would want I want everybody in the world to know this. It's just that's like my mission. It's why I do everything that I do. I want
Yeah.
everybody to know that they are it, number one, but that you can have this without anything changing in your life. You can have this feeling that we're talking about within, this presence of your own being that, yes, when we meet external people and they're aligned and they're like us, yeah, it expands you even further, and it's beautiful. But you can have it on your own, and then that's just bonus. That's just the icing on the cake, but you've already baked the cake. You already have the cake, and it's great. But you can get extra layers of icing on it when it's going to come to you, it's going to flow to you, and the world around you is going to start to change. I say, I'm saying you, like, because I feel I'm talking to whoever you out there is
Yeah.
that needs to hear it. Like, I want to say, like, you can have this without doing anything, by just being.
Yeah, and I want to also speak to that real quick because it's again, I mean, so many fun things coming out of this
Mm.
already. And yes, we can have it all and we don't have to necessarily do anything, but we also do. Obviously, you have to go pay your bills. You live on this
Yeah.
planet, right? So, and
Yeah.
as nice as it sounds, it is also true. And what happens is that the actions that you start taking are gonna feel more inspired. When Tammy says you don't have to
Mm.
do anything, that is true because it won't feel like you have to. It will feel like you
Mhm.
get to, that you
Yeah.
want to, that you love to.
Yeah.
If you feel or when you feel motivated, you know? And so it's not gonna ever feel anymore like there's something that you have to do. It's like, oh, let's see
Yeah.
what that brings. Oh,
Yeah.
this might be interesting. Oh, let's see that. Ooh, that sounds
Mhm.
pretty interesting. I don't know about that, but let's try it out. Well, that wasn't my thing. Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
process through life, but the point being is that if you are in a state of being where you trust that the life is bringing you because you're connected with this divine love, divine acceptance, creation, whatever you want to name it again,
Mhm.
because you're in that state, when you're in that state, life brings you exactly the experiences that you're going to want,
Yeah.
need, um, and you just be there
Mm.
for that moment, live those
Mhm.
experiences.
Yes.
The resistance that we put out comes from the mind saying you're not safe. Now, if that's true, though, if that's actually true, meaning you really are in a dark alley, really late, there's nobody around,
Mhm.
you really are in danger, you should probably get out of it.
Mm.
It's just like common sense in that sense.
Yeah. Right.
But other than that, yes, you don't
Mhm.
necessarily have to do anything because you will get to do stuff that you feel
Yeah.
in love
True.
with,
Yep.
motivated by, etc.
Yeah.
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 And so now let's speak to a little bit the habits. And so every action we end up taking in life, and you were speaking to this a little bit just a little bit ago, is that
Mhm.
sometimes it feels like I don't want to go anywhere, I don't want to do anything. I just go back to watching my TV, sitting on the couch. Okay.
Mm.
So be it. If you really feel so exhausted in your body, I mean, fine, yes. But
Mhm.
just be aware of what you're doing. Be aware that,
Right.
let's say, if you're watching an action movie, all shootings and all sorts of things there. Maybe it feels like you're chilling, but what your subconscious is inhibiting and is feeling is though all those lives passing and this anxiety that's being provoked in these movies, for instance, is actually sticking onto your body, literally sticking
Mhm.
onto your mental body, mental than astral, because you're feeling what's
Mhm.
happening in a movie, for instance. Okay,
Right.
if you are watching something dramatic, where there is somebody is being unfaithful or somebody is going over something. Again, it's sticking to you. So to be careful what you expose yourself to in that
Mhm.
sense. Like, what do you really actually want?
Yeah.
Especially when you're tired. Definitely
Yeah.
not time to sit down and watch a movie that's mindless.
Yes.
As
Right.
much as it may feel
Mhm.
soothing,
Mhm.
pick a movie
Yeah.
where everybody wins. You know, Mary
Yeah.
Poppins or I don't know, whatever.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
It's kind of silly,
Yes.
but I'm trying to get a point across. So, because the mind has habitually grown accustomed to certain behaviors, whether you, when
Mhm.
you're tired, you, for instance, let's say that's like I was just saying, let's say that you do a get a order a pizza and watch the movie. Okay, for
Mhm.
instance, some of us when we're tired will stretch. I'll sit down and stretch. Okay, because I know that I can boost my energy by just doing that. My fascial tissue will stretch out. I'll feel better. When I feel
Mhm.
better, now I'm in the space of I want to create something.
Mm.
Okay. Now, if I'm really, really, really tired, I've traveled, whatever something ha was happening, I need to sleep. I just go to sleep. So for those of you
What a
out there who,
concept.
right, right. So for
Yeah.
those of you out there and love watching movies, I love watching movies myself at times. But
Mhm.
again, I'll watch some channels where I'm learning something mostly,
Mhm.
and that's what's soothing my soul. Okay, because I'm
Yeah.
learning something that's important to me. But again, back to the habit piece. Creating the habits that actually serve your being, serve your soul's purpose
Mhm.
are it's so important. So like
Yeah.
one of the
Absolutely.
habits is when you wake up, have some drink of water, obviously go to the bathroom, whatever you gotta do.
Mhm.
Have a drink of water and then just sit down. Sit with
Mhm.
yourself, with your spine upright. Just pay attention to your breathing. Take slower, deeper breaths in and out. Just do that every day for 5 minutes, maybe every morning, every evening before you go to bed. Just sit tall, feel the breath flowing in, flowing out. You know, it may turn into 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. It doesn't matter if
Mhm.
you're there for 1 minute or an hour or five.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. As long as
Mhm.
you are present with your body, feel the pains, maybe feel the relaxation, soothing kind of a sensation in the body as you're paying attention to the breath, nervous system calming down, body
Mhm.
releasing pressure from the mental body, from the astral body, from feelings, from the
Mhm.
physical body. Just feel into that. Notice your neck, notice your joints, notice your heart. Is it beating fast? Notice the tension at the
Mhm.
temples. Can you release that? So habits that work for you to bring you to the point of, again, being in the state of love. When you're in that state of love, you are connecting. When you're connecting, you're on purpose. When you're on purpose, you
Mhm.
feel happy. I mean, that's kind of simplified formula, but you get the point. So
Mhm.
hopefully. So
Yeah.
question to you, Tammy, and then maybe if you share some other practices that people can inhabit, whether it's a
Mhm.
physical practice, mental practice, or emotional practice. I
Mhm.
know you have journaling and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
then where I can be love, show me, point me to the direction.
Mhm.
So maybe share
Yeah.
something with us that might help someone out
Mhm.
there to create a new habit for their life.
Mhm. Yeah, for me, I'm very much allowing about it. And what I mean by that is there's certain things I do every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's certain thing I wake up, show me to be a vehicle of peace. What would you have me say? What would you have me do? That's just a like eyes open in the morning for me. That's connecting. And so when I do that, then I walk out into my day in complete confidence
Mm-hmm.
because I know that I've spoken to God, creator, source, that what would you have me do? I know that anything that comes to me was directly given to me. And so it takes away fear or it just creates a padding. Beyond that, I am not locked in same thing every day. I like being different and moving about, but with this, I like it even more. I want to listen to my body. I want to ask what do you need? So, in other words, if there's pain, which there usually is. I mean, I've had some surgeries and things, and I'm 55 years old and things happen. But regardless, whether you've had an injury, whether there's something specific or not, I sit in that presence, but I imagine that I'm can see it. So like if it's my spine, I
Hmm.
visualize it and
Hmm.
I go to it internally.
Hmm.
And as I'm going, everything is, I'm in the essence of love. That's what brought me to the pillow to sit there in the first place, right? Is love. So in that presence of love, I am going in and I'm meeting and sitting with. That's physical pain. If it's emotional pain, I picture it as if it's an entity, as if it's something
Hmm.
solid, and I sit with it. Because if I'm in the presence of love and I've made that commitment, then anything that I do, anything I touch, anyone I speak with, anything that comes out of my mouth, anything I think, anything that comes from this vessel is love. So I'm going to bring that to anything. That's medicine. And so that'll sort of tell me, and that'll set me up. Some days it might be a half an hour that I got to sit. Some days there's more pain, and then some days then there might be thoughts. So whatever it sort of needs, but I will sit and literally ask my body, what do you need? I don't just go with a surface, because if I go with a surface, it's it's a little too easy to grab something that's not the essence of love that I'm using. So if I go and I'm surface about it, I could go grab a Tylenol, or oh, I'm feeling tired. Oh, I'm gonna go get some caffeine.
Yeah, this is like the snoozing the alarm instead of like turning it off.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
so if I choose instead to sit with something, I
Yeah.
mean, don't get me, some days I do have to take something. Like
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
days
Yeah.
I have a lot to do, and I do. And I don't like that, but I've learned to love that too, which that's another point that I'll go into. But um yeah, it's ask what you need, and then the willingness to sit as long as it takes, or do whatever you need to do. That's self-love.
Mhm.
When you are loved by self, now you're ready, you're able to receive love externally. So it's all a practice of self-love, but you're building yourself at the same time. You're
Mhm.
expanding the love within you. And when you do this, that takes away the false idea, the false belief that you need to go get something outside. Physical healing, medicine, other people, love, anything. And so do anything that you can to source it internally, and then see what's left over. See what you're left with after you do the practice. Then you assess, okay, do I need something else? Do I need to talk to a friend? Do I need to go talk to somebody about this thing that's, man, I sat and it's just still there. It's not about, well, sit there for 10 hours and torture yourself and call in sick to work and, bail on your commitments because no, I got to sit and do the practice until I feel better. It isn't, it'll lead you into whatever the next step is. It'll provide you with the ability to discern because you'll be clear. And 95% of the time for me, there's very little left to do after I do it. It's most often, that's all I needed was, it's like a child when they're toddlers, right? And they're
Mhm.
just like losing their mind because it's the end of the world, because, they can't have the ice cream before dinner, or, whatever, their toy fell, whatever the catastrophic thing is that's happening in their life, which to them is life and death, the end of the world. Sometimes they don't need an explanation. Sometimes they just need to be hugged. Sometimes you could just sit on the floor with them and hold them, and they forget about the tragedy that they believe just happened. And now they're sitting there and, playing with it with a piece of string, and they don't care that their toy broke. Like sometimes you just need to sit still and feel loved. You can do that for yourself. If you have somebody in your life and they can do it too, great. But if you don't learn to do this yourself, sage of a person could be with you and they can't make you feel better. They could try and
Hmm.
they could be, but if you haven't done that initial for yourself, you can't receive it. We can't receive what we don't have, what we are not already. And the other small point I wanted to make about mainly just for pain and for taking medication, for a long time for me, I had this hate relationship with medication. I wanted to be healthy and self-healed and not I didn't want to need it. And
Hmm.
so I was angry at it and I didn't like it because it's like I'm like I'm putting poison in my body. Well, so now I'm fighting against it. And so if you need it, and I'd sit with my doctors, I'd go in there and they'd be like, you have just for now, you just have to do this for now. And sometimes you have to give in and do something, but fighting against it, you can't hate something and be healed by it.
Hmm.
You can't hate the Tylenol and then expect it to make your headache go away. Like
Great point.
the only way you know that is if you're present with yourself fully. It's the
Yeah.
only way you know.
Yes. Yes. And in order to be present with yourself fully, obviously, is to listen, is to be
Hmm.
there, is to pay attention, is to feel, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So I love that you just opened this a little bit of a can of worms in sense of the the medication and stuff like that. I
Hmm.
much like yourself in that sense. I actually don't take any medication that I haven't had in my entire life, and I used to judge people who do.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
again, there was a resistance in me, just like you were just saying from your perspective,
Yeah.
that the taking drugs is bad. I mean, it may be, and in
Hmm.
excess, anything is bad, not just drugs, right?
Yes.
But if there is a point that a lot of people I know are really in such a deep trouble that the medication is needed,
Yes. Right.
until you can spring into a little bit better health. The
Yeah.
medication has gotta be there, and it's gonna go into. It's like a crutch. It's gonna take
Mm.
you step by step, day by day, a little closer to the goal. But the problem happens when we forget that we have crutch and we just end up using crutch for the rest of our life
Mm.
when we
Hmm.
don't actually need it. And a lot of times we end up being too comfortable and end up taking the pills for the rest of our life, not questioning, is this actually good for me, or is this actually making my digestive system ill as I'm
Hmm.
taking so many drugs. So
Yeah.
there's a balance to really everything. And,
Right. Hmm.
like you were saying, the resistance to anything is just going to create
Hmm.
more tension and more fear from
Right.
that space. Once there's more tension, once there's more fear, there cannot be more love.
Yeah.
It's just like if you're spilling away the
Hmm.
love, you're gonna have an empty cup. That's
Yeah.
just what's gonna happen. And
Hmm.
in that
Hmm.
sense, then immerse yourself into whatever practice that just works for you. It can be anything, and mainly, like you were saying, just being present with where you are. And I love that you use the paying attention, close attention to like feel my spine. Can I feel like that
Hmm.
point? If I was the spine
Mm.
inside of this body, what would that feel like?
Yeah.
Where is that tension in there? Can I feel
Hmm.
this muscle, this tendon, that tendon? Can I allow myself feel into this physical body? When you do that, anytime
Yeah.
you guys, I want to point out the simple little thing is that when you pay attention to anything or anyone, you're giving it energy, you're giving it love. Same way when you talk with someone and they are truly listening to you
Hmm.
and you're truly listening to them. When there
Hmm.
is this exchange again, when somebody truly gets you and you
Hmm.
feel they understand me,
Hmm.
they get me, it's,
Hmm.
it's, it's good to be heard. That feeling, that's love.
Hmm.
That's going straight in.
Yeah.
When you do that to yourself, is you do it by paying attention to your physical body,
Hmm.
paying attention to your emotions, and paying attention to your thoughts.
Hmm.
It's you being present, paying attention to,
Hmm.
present with your being.
Yeah.
Being there, that's all that it is. So then when you form a habit, you're doing something over and over and over and over again. It's like walking. You're just gonna get it one day. When
Hmm.
you were a toddler and you were learning how to stand up and start walking, didn't happen right away. I mean, for some of you,
Hmm.
maybe the Superman out of there, maybe it happened right
Yeah.
away. I mean, most people will just
Yeah.
fall on their face a few times before they can actually sustain standing
Mhm.
up. Why? Because those muscles weren't formed yet. Once those muscles are formed because you keep trying,
Yeah.
you're gonna get
Yeah.
stronger. Kind of like the, butterfly. If you free up the caterpillar out of, or the, butterfly isn't formed and you help them out and don't let them struggle out of the cocoon, their wings
Mhm.
won't be strong enough. They'll die.
Right.
The same idea.
Mhm.
So that struggle, oftentimes it's like, yeah, going to the gym. Why do we go to the gym? Grow the muscle. Why do we grow muscle?
Mhm.
So we're stronger. Why do we want to be stronger? You know, because whatever else is
Mhm.
behind that. I want to have a pleasant life this way or this way. I want to be able to interact with people so I can do this and this. Whatever it is that floats your boat. But
Yeah.
know why you're doing what you're doing. What is actually driving what you're doing? Just know it and
Mhm.
sink into that sensation. We spend so little time feeling throughout the day, especially the male population.
Mm,
We,
true.
we really need to just like sit and feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would encourage people like, okay, right there, what does that feel like? Like, oh, I need to feel more. Like just if we tune in to our reaction at the first thought of it, that'll lead us to, because that'll lead us to our why, right? It's all about find your why to everything.
Hmm.
Just make sure it's yours.
Hmm.
Would be my encouragement to people. When we're questioning what our why is, like why am I doing this? Regardless of for both, for whether it's something lower energy or negative, oh, why do I keep going back? Why did I stay in that relationship? Why am I staying at a job that isn't fulfilling to me? What is in there? What is the why? And then as you ask the why, you sit still, which can feel terrifying.
Hmm.
Of course, it's the
Hmm.
last thing you want to do to our mind. The
Yeah.
ego's like, I don't want to
Yeah.
be alone with that. There's a quote or a saying that the mind can be like a bad neighborhood. Don't go in by yourself. Like,
Oh.
right? Because it's terrifying to think of, okay, I'm really uncomfortable and you want me to go sit still alone with these things that are uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Well, are you really going to outsource it? Like, look at that. There's a layer. Okay, why? Why do you not trust yourself enough to be the one you sit with to move through this? Why are you not your first call when you need to go in and times are tough? Why are you not the one that you're calling in to have your back? But yet, oh, they don't have my back. They didn't have my back. They weren't there. They abandoned me. They. Right? Oh,
Mhm.
I'm so sad and I'm all alone because they aren't there for me. Nobody has my, right? We hear this all the time.
Mhm.
Well, do you have your back? Are you doing what, like, can we look at that? Can we look in the mirror and say, are you doing it for yourself? And
Mhm.
like point at the you
Mhm.
and reverse it
Mhm.
and then say, yeah, I am here. I
Yeah.
am here for myself. It's me, I can count on myself. And when you do it enough, all the, you know, them and yous out there, people will show up and they'll be able to be there for you.
Yeah.
But be the example of it yourself, of that presence, and then we'll feel the presence of other people around us.
Yeah. Frequency precedes form. So
Warm.
as we get, the idea is that whatever it is that you have in your mind, whatever thoughts that are flowing through, whatever it is that you're feeling in your astral body and your feelings, your emotions, that
Mm-hmm.
creates vibrations, that creates a frequency. That frequency, that
Mm-hmm.
vibration is carried out into your actions.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then obviously actions or non-actions end up then creating your reality. So the
Mm-hmm.
frequency happens first
Yeah.
before something that actually manifests. So if there is something that you feel unhappy about in your life, ask yourself, am I going by example in this department?
Mm-hmm.
Am I doing exactly as I wish other people would have?
Mm-hmm.
And you may
Yeah.
find that you're forceful perhaps with whatever it is that you're doing. You may find perhaps that you're not completely honest with yourself.
Mhm.
That's something that you do it because of you feel obligated, and you
Mhm.
require it from others that will also feel obligated. And so, can you not feel obligated to do something and just do it out of fun because you want to, because you feel like creating? Back
Mhm.
to being present with, the self-acceptance, the love that is the divine right that we all have.
Mm.
Being in that space of, yeah, I remember who I am, my soul, why I
Yeah.
came here in this lifetime to learn this and this, or to experience through this particular quote unquote avatar, as I'm living
Mm.
in this physical body as this person with this name, with this job description, with this family that I was born
Mm.
into, friends that I have. Those are the experiences that you
Yeah.
garner throughout your life in this avatar is what your soul wants. So
Yeah.
resistance
Mhm.
is futile.
Yeah.
There's no space for it. There's really no reason for it.
Mhm.
The only reason that we have resistance in our lives is because the mind is untrained. It's like a spoiled
Mm.
child that just throws a tantrum, which is again
Yeah.
okay. It's okay that it happens, but again,
Mhm.
can you work on that? Can you
Yeah.
allow that to be heard, felt,
Mm.
and allowed it to dissipate? Because when a child is throwing a tantrum, what does it want? It just wants to be heard, wants to be held, probably feels unsafe, probably feels obviously scared or something,
Mhm.
unloved. So it just wants a little bit of attention. You give them a little bit of
Mhm.
attention, and they'll go back to, "Oh, okay, I felt fine." They're quiet now,
Mm.
they're cooperating and
Mhm.
whatnot. Mind is the same
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, and I mean, a question I love to ask to myself, I'll say, are you being to yourself everything that you're asking from for others, or wishing for, hoping for? We hear that a lot about from the relationship coaches and things, be the partner you want to receive and all that, which it's true, because if you come into the awareness, acceptance, and willingness to be all of that which you ask out, and if I'm consciously doing that, then that's the magnet that's going to attract the same, because nothing else can join it. That's how you get there. That's how you receive, is by being. And we can say it a million different ways, but like, I love to ask that question. If I ever am feeling a sense of lack or wanting anything outside of me, if I feel like anything, the first thing I do is ask myself, am I sourcing it? And it's mirror work. I love mirror work. I
Mm.
love to do even the sitting practice,
Hmm.
that presence and sitting practice. I'd love to do that in front of a mirror and like look in the mirror and say, are you doing it? And you go through everything. And then you can you go for, okay, well, how can I do that? If the answer is no, okay, great. Now you know what you need to do. And so then you can ask, like, okay, show me. For me, I all day long I have conversations with God, like, okay, show me how to do that. Show me. Show me how to be more blah, whatever. And I just talk. And that I would encourage that also, as we're talking about giving suggestions, is keep it light. We don't have to go out and take courses and learn, like, okay, this is the practice, and okay, I'm supposed to light a candle. All right, well, I have to light it with my right hand, and then it's got to be to my left, or else it won't. Yeah, yeah, God doesn't care. Source doesn't care. I mean, no disrespect to patterns, but I'm talking on a very basic level. If you want to merge into that in more formal practices, there's nothing wrong with that. But if someone's in the beginning and this is new, I would encourage to keep it really, really simple, and then see where you want to go, because you might want to do that. You might want to get more formal about things. But in the beginning, I just encourage to go easy, go slow. Just listen to your body and ask. Your body's really, really intelligent. I would say to everybody. Yeah.
So true.
Hmm.
So true. Yeah, thank you so much. What a
Yeah.
fun
Hmm.
wisdom. So, I want to start closing this discussion. It was again so much fun to unravel a few
Mm.
concepts and just be present again in this conversation to the best of my current ability, anyway. And I want
Yeah.
to close with this saying that Marianne Williamson wrote, and
Mm.
you probably
Love
already know.
her.
So, again, Marianne Williamson, for those of you who don't necessarily know, studies Course in Miracles, and Course in Miracles is a really interesting, intriguing, fun study for anyone. Really, it's a study of
Mhm.
life, and there's so many cool wisdom pieces in that book
Mhm.
that was again channeled that was done by I think one or two ladies I think
It was two. Mhm.
okay, yeah, so the quote goes, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our light shine, we unconsciously give permission to other people to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. No, it's a little bit longer, somewhat longer, but there's so much wisdom in every single sentence of this little quote. And it is so
Mhm.
profound that and it's thrown around on the internet quite a bit, I think, with people in their lives as well. And again, just pointing to the fact that being in the presence
Mhm.
of the divine, of the love, of the creation of this world, this universe, however you want to name
Mhm.
that,
Mhm.
is really the place of creation again. It's like that's what we came
Mhm.
here to do. We came here to experience, we came here to create, we came here to learn. And
Mhm.
there's nothing more profound that you can do in this life. So, like you say, you don't have to do anything, just being is enough. You're one of 8 billion
Yeah.
people here. There's nobody else like you in this world. Very unique.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
go out
Yeah.
there and stir it up,
Yeah. That's right.
shine.
Yeah.
Uh,
Mhm.
Beautiful.
Love it. Yeah, I love Marianne Williamson. Yeah, it's all true. I mean, everything that quote that you just read was basically we could have just read that and not talked the whole time because we basically said everything that she said. We
Yeah.
just expanded on it.
Yep.
That was just an example of what we are talking about alignment, calling in, attracting. We didn't plan that. You didn't before we started this, we did not discuss, okay, at the end we're going to base it on this and we're going to talk about this and at the end I'm going to read this quote and then we both sat down and studied the quote and then tried to talk from it. The
Nope.
quote was not the outline to the talk that we just had.
Hmm.
The quote aligned because we came into this in the energy of the divine love that we are with the intention to be more love out into the world. And so that people would hear two of us talking about love. We just talked about it. We shared our experiences. You called in a quote that summed it all up and touched on every point. If we went back, when we look back and we took that and then we went through this and we rewatched this video that we just made, that quote, we could make bullet points out of that and then plug in what we said and everything would match and come together.
Yeah.
So we just produced an example. It's love in action. It's the essence in action. We're here to be light. And yeah, I know it's said all the time and it's the taglines to stuff, but that's all we're here to do is remember the light that we are, which is love, and to be it. Because when we are it, being it and being the essence of it transforms anything unlike it that might come. So the trials that come, yes, they come. And yes, things happen and people get sick. Yes, of course. But it's within that, and it only comes so that we can transform it. That's the only reason that the contrast comes. We're not being punished. We're not being shut down. We're not wrong. Just be. And all the tools in these exercises that we can do, those practices are all just to fuel us up. That's just plugging the electricity into the light that we are. That's all. We already are it. We're just plugging in the electricity with the practices. But that's all it is. And when we talk about it and we're willing to talk about it and be vulnerable enough, I've never been on these and YouTube or done anything like this. Yes, I've written a book, and yeah, I'm a writer, and yeah, I work with clients, but this is all new. So the opportunity for it, though, only came because I have a desire to speak it out more. And yeah, it's scary. Yes, I've encountered people that talk negatively about it, or, want me to stop talking, or it makes them uncomfortable. Of course, that'll happen. That's okay. They're only uncomfortable because they just don't know yet, and it scares them, and they really want it, but they just don't know. And it just sounds too good to be true, and it sounds a little too easy, so it's like, whatever. The eye roll. The eye roll is only the discomfort. It's not towards anyone, right? So like, when we can remember that and just be out there and talk, that's all we're supposed to do. What's my purpose? What am I supposed to do? Be love. There you go.
Be love, the end.
That's it. The end. Like, that's it. Just be love. Just go find whatever it is that's that compassion and kindness, and you'll find more and more and more other people like we did. Everybody will. And then you just do it more and it grows. That's all.
Because you're having fun.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's in our wonder, like children that we are, like the quote said, be the child that you are. And yeah, the responsibilities will come, and the adult will come in and take care of those. We all deal with hard stuff all day long, but that's okay. That's all right. That doesn't, you can't stop it because nothing's stronger than it. There's no source or force that's stronger than love. Nothing. But it's the only reason that it doesn't come through is if we choose not to see it. So, but it's all on us, right? So yeah, just be love.
Yes. It's a nice invite. Thank you for pointing that out, all that you just did. Because true that, for sure. I did not plan on reading this quote. This just came to me as we were talking, and I looked it up real briefly so I remember part of it, but I don't remember the whole quote. So I couldn't just recite it. But it came to me as we were talking, and I don't know why it came to me, and I don't know why I wanted to say it at the end, but it just happened. So like you're saying, it wasn't planned. Something that just kind of evolved as we are creating a certain vibration, we're creating a certain frequency, and it ends up being that. So, all right. Well, beautifully done. Thank you again so much for joining me today, Tammy, and always pleasure to have you here and chat. And we'll look forward to seeing everyone next time. And until then, take good care of you.
Thank you.
And thank you again for joining us for today's Awake and Aware podcast. As usually, if you have enjoyed the conversations, if you have enjoyed what you learned today, subscribe, like us, hit the bell so you get more notifications about our future podcasts that are coming up. And feel free, follow into the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you what your opinions are around this, today's theme. And we will look forward to seeing you again on the next one, where we'll talk a little bit more about judgment and the importance of understanding and shifting through this energy in order to reveal the part of you that is the true self, that is the essence of the being that you are, in order to have more fulfilling life, in order to feel more happy in your life. Doesn't matter whether you go through difficult experiences or easy experiences, fun experiences or sad experiences, they are what they are. If you are in your space, unwavering, everything that comes at you, you can deal with. To get into that space, few of the things that you have done in your life may have to be undone. So again, if you are interested to learn more about that, stay tuned to the next one, and we'll look forward to seeing you there. Until then, take good care, and all the best to you. Much love.